Hey guys, what is up? It is the Fast Break Report here, bringing you guys another vlog. And every offseason, seems like we get the people who come out of the woodwork and start comparing LeBron to Michael Jordan. And I have realized on my channel, I have never once talked about this. I've never once talked about comparing LeBron James to Michael Jordan. And there's actually a reason for it. And I'm going to explain why in this video. And I guess the title of this video will probably be something along the lines of stop comparing LeBron to Michael Jordan. Because the fact of the matter is, man, this argument is always so shitty. It's always so biased. Like, usually the people who come up with these fucking arguments, like, they're obviously biased. The people on Twitter who come up with this shit, it's like fucking LeBron Stan 69 or fucking Jordan Stan 69 who comes up with this shit they pull out of the fucking woodwork, like, for reasons why Jordan or LeBron is better than the other. And I'm just gonna say this, okay? A lot of you guys have actually been asking for this video for a long time. A lot of you guys have been like, oh, you know, who do you think is better, Jordan or LeBron? And there's a video out there somewhere where I think I ranked like the top 75 players of all time, like my top 75 or my top 100 or some crazy shit like that. I forgot what video it is, but it's out there. And I put Michael Jordan ahead of LeBron. And I explained why in that video. So if you were wondering why, like that's partial to the reason why. But one of the main reasons why I have never made that video and people have requested it, I feel like at least by one person's requested it every offseason, it seems, for the past 3 years that I've been doing this. The reason that I've never did a Jordan versus LeBron video is because it's an unfair argument. It is. Like, regardless of what you think about either player, it's an unfair argument. And the reason it's an unfair argument is because people love to take guys from, like, the fucking 80s, whether it's Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, or LeBron, or Michael Jordan, or Isaiah Thomas, right? And they like to compare these guys to guys like fucking Kevin Durant and LeBron James and Stephen Curry and shit like that. And I just think to myself, I'm like, the reason you can't do this, I'm just gonna tell you right now, like, I'm gonna spoil the whole fucking video for you. The reason you can't do this is because guys like LeBron and Kevin Garnett and all these other guys who were drafted in the early 2000s, were allowed to play in the NBA at 18 years old. Okay? Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, pretty much anybody who wanted to be in the NBA back in the day had to do 4 years of college and then go to the NBA. So while LeBron got to enter the NBA at 18 years old, Jordan got to enter the NBA at 21. Okay? And everybody's like, oh, longevity. This is the argument for LeBron. To every fucking person I talk to, longevity. Bro, if fucking LeBron or Jordan could have entered the NBA at 18 years old, do you realize, like, how many MVPs that motherfucker would have? How many rings he probably would have? How many more scoring titles he would probably have? How many more all-defensive first teams he would probably have? Like, you're looking at a dude that probably would have been, like, what, an 11-time all-defensive first-team player straight because he had 9 of them? I mean, it's just the idea, like, when people say that they think Jordan is better than LeBron, it's not necessarily always just based on the fucking stats. It's based on the idea that had Jordan got to play just as long as LeBron did, this really wouldn't even be a conversation. Like I hate to say that, but this really wouldn't even be a fucking conversation. And from my standpoint, right, I think to myself, LeBron's a very good player, right? LeBron is easily in the top 5 all time, you know, top 2 for most people with a fucking brain in their head. But I think to myself, man, like, the arguments that I hear for this shit are always just people that come up with shit that they just pull out of their ass. Like I've seen arguments that people make for LeBron being a better defender than Michael Jordan. And I think to myself, well, where are people getting that from? And the reason I say that is because, like, people just pull up the most arbitrary shit that I'm like, Oh, well, because LeBron was a forward and he had the ability to defend 1 through 5, and he had five-time All NBA first team selections on the defensive side of the ball and 1 second team. Okay, well, Michael Jordan has 9 first teams. He never had a second team. Like, it's just the idea, like, yeah, the argument that can be made for LeBron over Jordan is versatility. Is he a better defender than Jordan? I don't really think so. You know, like, to me, if you are a 9 times straight all defensive first team player, you were fucking elite. And in the stats category, you know, like, in the stats category, Jordan has 2.3 steals a game. LeBron has 1.5. When it comes to blocks, they're literally exactly the fucking same. And, you know, there are certain things I take into consideration that I probably shouldn't for Jordan compared to LeBron and LeBron compared to Jordan. But, like, I think to myself, like, Michael Jordan, like, only, how many seasons did Michael Jordan play? I think it was, like, only, like, 10 or, I think it was, like, 12 or some crazy shit like that. Like, I don't think people truly get how fucking crazy it is that, okay, so Michael Jordan played 15 seasons, right? Had he been able to play since college, or like not had to go to college, just could have entered the NBA at 18, we're talking about a guy who would have played, almost 20 seasons, 19, and then he took time off as well and still put up these numbers. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a guy who played 15 fucking seasons in the NBA, 2 of them with Washington, and was a 10-time scoring champ, a 14-time All-Star. That means he was an All-Star every single fucking year but one of them. I mean, you know, I see these things, I think to myself, you know, okay, Jordan had 5 league MVPs, right? Had he been able to enter the league at 18, I think 6 or 7 is not crazy to say. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just the idea, like, people... I didn't even realize Jordan was a 3-time steals champion, too. Holy fuck. Like, yes, there are arguments to be made for LeBron. Like, LeBron should have won Defensive Player of the Year over Marc Gasol the one year. I think it was 2011 or some crazy shit like that. But the reason I don't make crazy comparison videos between LeBron and Jordan, even though I could do a fucking number on it that would probably, like, change people's minds around, because I think people put a little bit too much stock in LeBron's countless trips to the finals because he played in an Eastern Conference that was ass for a long time. Like, yeah, there was a couple good teams there, but, you know, it's just the idea, like, I think people put a lot of stock in just the finals appearances, and that's fine. You can do that. You know, the league's the league. You can't control, you know, which teams are fucking good and which teams are fucking bad. But it's just the idea, like, you know, most of those teams that LeBron played against to get to the finals are teams that, like, 42 wins don't get you to the playoffs anymore, boys. All right? And yes, the same argument can be made for Jordan. You know, fucking, 30-something wins doesn't get you in the playoffs anymore, boys. It's just the idea, like, a lot of the arguments that people make for LeBron over Jordan are some of the same arguments you could make for LeBron over, you know, like, vice versa. You know what I'm saying? Like, all the arguments people make for LeBron over Jordan, the same argument can be made for Jordan over LeBron. You know, like, it's really like you're splitting hairs really at a certain point to try and, you know, put one on a pedestal over the other. And I just think to myself, whenever I hear people make this argument, I just think to myself, 4 years of college. Okay? Like, can you imagine if Larry Bird didn't have to play 4 years of college? Okay? Like, I'm pretty sure... How many years did Magic play at Michigan State? Magic Johnson, Michigan State stats. Like, it's just the idea, like, even Magic, right? Magic had to... so he played at Michigan State for 2 years. But it's just the idea, like, I know, like, I don't remember exactly, like, what the requirements are, but I'm pretty positive you had to play... I think it was 2 or 4 years of college just to get into the NBA. Like, college was a requirement back when they played. You know, like you didn't just go to the league out of high school. You know what I'm saying? So, Even if you add 2 more years onto Michael Jordan's resume, right? We're talking another 160 something games that could be added to Jordan's resume. I mean, 82 plus 82. What we got? Oh fuck. Hold on. Sorry, I'm bad with math. Yeah, 164 games. So it's just the idea, man. Like when I see people who make these arguments, I think to myself, 164 games, bro. 164 games, a whole lot of 30-point games for Michael Jordan. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just the idea. Like, when I see people make these arguments about longevity and all this other shit, I just think to myself, it's kind of a pointless argument to make. It really is. It's kind of a pointless. That's why I've never made an in-depth video about it. Because I'm like, you know what? I can make an in-depth video about why I think Jordan is better than LeBron, and somebody somewhere will find a fucking loophole and say, this is why Jordan or LeBron is better than Jordan. And then I'll go back and find a loophole in the thing that they fucking say and be like, well, you know, if we're playing basketball at 70 degrees on a Thursday and it's, you know, and the humidity is only 37%, you know, like that's what this fucking feels like. And that's why I don't really participate in it too much, because I'm just like, okay, like, yeah, I like to go on Twitter and like go back and forth with people and shit. You know, like even the advanced metrics. Like, advanced metrics are things that it's like they're arbitrary stats in themselves, because it's like most people don't like advanced stats because they don't tell the whole story. So it's just like, at the end of the day, man, that's why I've never made one, and it's probably why I will never make one. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I make a LeBron versus Jordan video that's that in depth, like, and like put graphics on the fucking screen and shit, like, I would really have to like have nothing else to fucking do. You know what I'm saying? Because like, I think to myself, I look at guys like Larry Bird, I look at guys like even Pete Maravich, right? Like, guys that, like, if they could have played in the NBA, like Pete Maravich, like, I don't think people realize this, right? I'm gonna hit you motherfuckers with a crazy stat right now. If Pete Maravich, right, was like, his college scoring record is so fucking insane that the average college player today would have to score like 13 3-pointers a game in order to even come close to breaking his college scoring record at LSU. All right? Like, Pete Maravich, his college scoring record will probably never be broken. And I think to myself, like, yeah, this is a guy who spent 4 years in college. Can you imagine if he was doing that in the fucking NBA? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I think to myself, like, yes, was the level of competition lower? Sure. Okay? Same thing can be said for, the level of competition, plumbers, you know, electricians and shit. Listen, I don't give a fuck. Okay? At the end of the day, I appreciate everybody's legacy for what it is. Okay? I appreciate Pete Maravich's legacy, Bob Cousy's legacy, fucking Jordan's legacy, LeBron's legacy. Okay? But to sit here and split hairs and try to compare apples to oranges is a waste of fucking time. I'm just gonna call it what it is. It's a waste of time, because every era in the NBA is different. Every criteria and the rules and all this other shit is different. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, back in the day, you could stand down in the fucking paint for as long as you wanted. Then the 3-second rule got implemented. And then there was hand checking. And then there was all this other shit. Okay, like, it's just the idea, at the end of the day, just appreciate them for what they are. And yeah, you know what? Someday, somebody will probably compare the two or we'll plug it in the fucking chat GPT or some shit, and they'll come out with an answer. But until then, just appreciate them for what they are. You know, two of the greatest players to ever lace up and set foot on a fucking basketball court. You know, because, like, I understand the argument people make for LeBron, but at the same time, it's like, you know, even the people with Jordan, like, a lot of the times the people with Jordan, they make up really shitty arguments. 6 rings and 6 finals MVPs, yada, 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 that's it. They don't ever bring up other shit that actually matters. It's always 6 rings, 6-0, 6 finals MVPs, 6-0 finals MVPs, and I just think to myself, man, like, you have got to come up with a better argument than that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can only ride that ship for so long. You know what I'm saying? It's a played out argument. And when it comes to these things, you kind of have to deal in facts. So, I don't know, man. This is just my opinion on it, but tell me what you guys think about this down below in the comment section below. A like helps me out, subscribe if you guys want to see more on the Fast Break Report, and I'm out of this motherfucker. Peace, guys.